Hey guys, in this video I'm going to discuss callbacks. A callback is a function passed as an argument to another function. Using callbacks is a popular programming technique because it ensures that a function is not going to run before a task is completed. Here's an example of where a callback would be useful. Let's say we need to add two numbers together. Let total equal sum. Pass two numbers as arguments, maybe 2 and 3. I'll create a function to add these numbers together and return something. We will declare a function sum to add these two numbers together and set up some matching parameters to these arguments. Let's name these x and y. Let result equal x plus y, return result. Then afterwards, I would like to display my result. One function to display the result to the console and the other to the DOM. Function display console. I'll name this argument output. console.log output. After finding a total, we will invoke the displayConsole function. We will pass our total as an argument. This displays the number 5 to the console. Now let's create a function to display some output to the DOM. Function display DOM. We'll keep output as the argument. However, we will change the inner HTML of an element. So heading to our HTML file, let's create a label. Close it. I'll give this an ID of myLabel. Save. Head back to your JavaScript file, and I would like to select myLabel. Document.getElementById. The ID of that label was myLabel, and I will set the inner HTML equal to the output that I receive. I will instead invoke the displayDOM function. DisplayDOM pass in total as an argument, and we have the number 5. Another way of writing this is that we could use a callback. We can pass a function as an argument to another function. Let's get rid of these lines. We won't need them anymore, but we will keep these two functions. This time I'm going to invoke a sum function, pass in my arguments 2 and 3, and also the name of a function I would like to execute once we finish this function. Let's invoke the displayConsole function once we finish the sum function. So we will pass the name of this function as an argument. Just be sure not to add that set of parentheses after, because then you would be invoking that function. Just the name of the function. Next, I need to set up this sum function. This specific function will have 3 parameters. The first 2 are the numbers we would like to add together, and the third is a callback. So let's define a sum function. Function, sum, and there's 3 parameters. We'll name these x, y, and for the callback, you can really name it anything. I'll just name it callback. And again, make sure not to add that extra set of parentheses afterwards. So, callback. We'll add these 2 numbers together. Let result equal x plus y, and then we will invoke our callback. So at the end of the function, type callback. Remember that it stores a function, kind of like a variable, then add a set of parentheses, then we'll be invoking this function. And if there's any arguments, we have 1 parameter, output, make sure to pass that in. So pass in result. Execute my callback, pass result as an argument, and this displays my output. If I would like to pivot and instead display my output to the DOM, I'll just pass in a different callback, displayDOM. So we'll pivot and execute a different function, and our output is displayed to the DOM. So you don't necessarily need to name this parameter callback. We could name this maybe do something at the end of the function, do something, do some other function. Or maybe myfunc. This would be valid too. So remember, you can rename parameters. So using callbacks is an additional way in which we can write code. It ensures that a function is not going to run before a task is completed. It helps us develop asynchronous code. When one function has to wait for another function, it helps us avoid errors and potential problems. For example, we could wait for a file to load. Once the file loads, then we do something. We'll have more practice with callbacks in future videos. So yeah, that's a callback, everybody. You can pass a function as an argument to another function, and then execute it later. Hey, if this video helped you out, you can help me out by smashing that like button, leave a random comment down below, and subscribe if you'd like to become a fellow bro.